Hello everyone. This is the second topic for my iTech 413 project. This is the second homework. Today I'll be talking about insecure direct object reference, and it's an acronym for IDOR. My name is Mohammed Fouda, and this is my presentation. Well, first, what is IDOR? The definition: IDOR occurs when an application exposes direct reference to objects like files, database records, or URLs without proper access control. The impact: this allows attackers to manipulate references to gain unauthorized access to sensitive data or perform restricted actions. An example of that is accessing another user account by changing the user ID in the URL. This is an explanation, just a visual representation of how the attack works. As you can see, the attack changes the ID to a different number in the end of the URL. This is very familiar in any URL. You can probably see it in the browser you're using right now. The request is seen as valid, and then the victim with user ID 102 information is returned to the attacker. The workflow of this exploit have three mechanisms. One is the valid reference. A user accesses a resource via URL parameter. The second is tampering. The attacker modifies the reference, example profile /124. It can be example.com/profile/124. The third is unauthorized access. The application does not verify the user authorization and grant access to the resource. This is an example of a real-world IDOR exploit. This is a 2012 Facebook vulnerability that allowed user to delete photos from other users' accounts by altering object references in the API requests. The impact of that is user trust was compromised, leading to a major security patch by Facebook. This is a post that I found about the issue because it's quite old. So as you can see, an engineer received $12,500 in bounty because he reported that vulnerability to Facebook. Why IDOR is dangerous? Well, there is two factors of risks. One is organization risk, and the second is user risk. The organization, well, first it can cause exposure of sensitive customer or company data. The second, of course, is financial losses due to lawsuits or fines. The third can be erosion of customer trust and brand reputation. As for the user, the first thing can happen is unauthorized actions like deletion of data. The second can be compromisation of personal and financial information. So how do we prevent this type of attack? Well, there's four mechanisms or four methods that we can use. One is access control mechanisms, where we can implement proper authorization checks before granting access to objects. The second can be indirect references, where we replace direct object references with map tokens. The third can be input validation, where we validate and synthesize user input to prevent tampering. The fourth can be conducting security testing. Regularly test for IDOR vulnerabilities using automated tools. This is a diagram of the mapping process. As you can see, this is the source data and the source structure. The second is this is the target structure and the target data, and it all leads back to mapping the pattern and processing operation. So how do we detect this type of attack? Well, we can use manual testing. We can just check the URLs, headers, and body parameters of that message or URL or whatever. Or we can use automated tools, automated security tools like Burp Suite or OSPZAP. And the third thing can be penetration testing, when we hire security professionals to identify the issue. This is a screenshot of Burp Suite detecting the IDOR vulnerability. On the left side is the auto, and the right side is the semi-auto, or maybe when you have to do a lot of manual work. Some case studies of IDOR attacks, or some examples. A financial service website had an IDOR vulnerability allowing attackers to view and edit other users' loan application by modifying a numeric parameter. The impact is the financial and legal repercussions of the company along with the customer data exposure. And the resolution, the application was updated to include robust access control checks. What we learned in this presentation is IDOR vulnerabilities result from a lack of proper access control. Prevention requires implementing authorization checks and direct references. Security testing is crucial to detect and mitigate risks. And call to action, developers and organizations must prioritize secure coding practices to prevent IDOR. Well, this was my presentation. If you have any questions, please share it with me, and thank you for your time.